And Dr. Tacey Stulberg, a marriage and family therapist with a practice in Birmingham, joins us now. And Doctor, you listen to this story. First, what's your reaction, especially with this 16-year-old saying, I'm not a victim and he's not a predator, but she knew him since middle school?
Well, she can think that she's not a victim. I'm sure she's got a relationship with him. She calls him her boyfriend. But he had a responsibility to protect her. That was his job. He took this job and then he exploited her.
Clear this up for us, because she was 16 when this relationship started, according to investigator Bill Proctor, but he's been charged with 2 counts of criminal sexual conduct, 15-year felonies.
Well, while 16 is the age of consent, because he had a position of authority, because he was in a position to protect these children, all those children in that school, he was a security guard, he wasn't allowed to have a relationship with her. And so that's where these charges stem.
And he's a former police officer as well. Now let's talk about this young girl, because she's going to need a lot of help, especially Bill said she's being bullied in school right now because so many of the kids in this high school like this security guard. I'm sure a lot of them have known him, so she's going to need a lot of help, right?
She's going to need a lot of support. I know that she, from what I understand, she has her mother's support. She's going to need friends, she's going to need relatives, and she may need some therapy. Especially since she's kind of confused as to what kind of relationship this was and what kind of relationship it should have been. Perhaps if bullying's happening in this school, this may not be the right place for her at this point.
Can you give us a message for not just the kids at this school, but for parents as well, especially because in the national headlines right now, we hear of so many young girls committing suicide who have been raped and gang raped, and then some of those pictures end up on the internet, and they're being bullied as well. But this young girl should not be bullied.
No, she shouldn't be bullied, and kids are cruel. They bully, they don't understand. And for many of them, if this man was somebody that they thought was a friend, she becomes the enemy because she told the truth. With that said, if he gets charged, and as he has been charged, and he goes to jail or has other kind of repercussions, they fall on her. And they shouldn't.
And they shouldn't.
Absolutely not. She's a victim. Even though she says very clearly she's not a victim, he couldn't have a relationship with her. She was too young.
Especially in his house and all. And lastly, a message to parents out there who may face a similar situation in the future or may be going through it right now.
Well, the message is you've got to keep track of where your babies are, what they're doing. You've got to be able to have an open relationship, talk about what's appropriate and what's not. It seems like when this mother found out, she did absolutely the right thing. And parents need to protect their kids at all costs.
Certainly do. So I hope kids are listening to this story, not to bully, and hopefully parents are listening to and will protect their young ones.
I hope so.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Stulberg, for joining us tonight. We really appreciate your time.
I appreciate it.